All right, so figured out something. I'm putting a lower A-arm on a 2009 Chevy Malibu, but I've done multiple jobs like this and I've never really seen anybody try it, and it may be wrong, but it's worked for me. I'll get the A-arm lined up, of course, put the back bracket on. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll do just like everybody else. I'll put my back bracket on, but I actually go ahead and put this bolt kind of in just to hold this where it's supposed to be, so I know that I'm somewhat lined up for my lower when I'm going to put my lower ball joint in. Of course, there's the lower ball joint right there. Well, when you're on the ground like me, it's hard to get a hammer and bonk the hell out of it, because you ain't got but 6 inches. You're trying to beat the shit out of that ball joint. So what I do, so I take a jack. I take this scissor jack, take my old impact, put my impact on my scissor jack. I'm not a good video person. Okay, then of course, what you do is I put pressure. Where's it at? I put pressure on that bottom ball joint. I hit it right there, get it lined up right where I want. Then I put pressure on it. Then I just grab this whole assembly right here and yank it about where I know I need it, and it will slip in. If you got to wiggle this sumbitch back and forth, but put pressure on it with this jack, just a little bit. Put pressure on that lower ball joint, and then get the goddamn shaking on this thing, and it will seat in. I just did it, and I did it 100 times. And if it doesn't always line up perfect for you, go and get you a hammer. And you can take your hammer and still whack that lower A-arm wherever you want it. So you know if it needs to go left or right with the jack on it. So you put your pressure on it, get her snug, and get to shaking. Usually it'll slide right in. You ain't even got to hit it. I put a bunch of grease on it, of course. That makes it real slippery. That helps a lot. Put you a bunch of grease on it, some WD-40. Then if I'm off a little bit, I take my old bonker here and bonk my arm whichever way it needs to go, and it'll slide that little ball joint in. So take your old scissor jack. Same thing as you got to load it. I got to load this suspension before I do the back bracket right there. You don't tighten that up, that last bolt, till you load the suspension. Well, I take my scissor jack and get up on one of these studs, and run my scissor jack up to this stud and put pressure on it, and it, like it would if it was sitting on the ground. Then I tighten it down. That's something I've never seen anybody else do, and it works for me. So there you go.